Great. So welcome, everybody. I'm delighted to see you all, and this is going to be a fantastic group. We're 11 people, actually 12, because Pauline and Peter are working together, but on the same book. So that really makes 12 people, but 11 books. So I'm really excited. Today's our launch, and we're going to have a little party and get to know each other. I just want to go over a few little housekeeping slides, and then we're going to get to all the introductions. So I'm going to share my screen for a minute. You'll see everybody on the side, and then I'll unshare it when I come back, and then we'll share it again. All right, so let's see how this goes. So now here we are. Okay, so everybody's on the side now. You could probably see some of you, not everybody. And today you can ask questions whenever you want or make a comment. It's not like the webinar where I couldn't talk to anybody. So I feel a lot better because I can see you and I can, we can interact. So this will be a lot easier and more fun. So today your journey to your health and wellness book begins right here at the beginning of the road, and the road will take some twists and turns, but we're going to end up in a really fabulous place, and I'll be your GPS or your guide or whatever you want to call it. So, within just a few months from now, some of you a little earlier, some of you later, you'll be calling yourself an author. And you can add the name or the title author to whatever titles or titles you already have, such as MD or PhD or RD or whatever, ND. So that will be a wonderful feather in your cap. Not too long from now, hopefully by the summer, a good number of you will have your books either finished or close to finished or well on the way. So the goals of the course or the sprint are to give you the tools and processes for writing your book, to remove the fear, which is, probably what stopped many of you, the fear or confusion in the first place. So I'm here to guide you in the step-by-step process. And it is a process like everything else you've learned. You all have health and medical education. Question? Are we good? And to give you the guidance, support, and community to write, publish, and launch your book successfully. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I just came across this quote this morning, actually from LinkedIn, and it said, and I wanted to use it because I thought it was so apt, a dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement. So you can have a dream, but you need to take action on it. And the moment, these were two different people, the second one said, the moment we press activate, we override our fear mechanisms and transform trying into doing, and then doing into, that's right, I did it. So I know you're all going to be able to say that pretty soon. And so today we actually activate. We start activating what you've been thinking about doing, wanting to do, what you signed up to do. That's why we're gathering here to start the activation. So our agenda for today, I'm going to do just a quick overview and some housekeeping, which more or less I did. We're going to do some introductions of everybody in the group, so you'll get to know each other and what your books are going to be about. I'm going to go over a little bit of what I provided as worksheets for reader profiles, the creative brief, and the back cover copy. I have a special gift, which I may actually wait till next week to give you. But it's going to be something exciting. And our next class, which is next week, March the 8th. So just a tiny bit of housekeeping. I am recording this call, and I will post it on the Thinkific learning platform that you've been on. I know the site was down yesterday, nothing to do with that site. There was a massive, I don't know, sites were down, including Amazon, I was told, for a few hours. So everything was down, but it's back now, I know. It will be posted either tonight or tomorrow at the latest, tomorrow morning, and you can go over this. The next class will be March the 8th, when we're going to activate the Finish Agent platform. And I'll show you how to get on and how to use it. And once you're there, it will be a wonderful platform for asking questions. You can get my answers to any questions you have. You can post questions to the group if you want an opinion, do you like this title or that title better? And you'll also be recording your daily goals and accomplishments. And that's going to be very important for accountability. So excuse me, you'll be setting your own daily goals and weekly goals. And but you'll be accountable to the group. Of course, if something happens and you can't keep it, well, you know, you'll just go on and work on it the next day. But it's an accountability. You're not just alone in your own office or your own house doing it. You'll have the group, and you're going to say, well, I'm working on my table of contents this week. Well, the group will say, well, how's your table of contents going? So, you know, if you have questions or problems, you can ask them, but you'll also be accountable to each other. And I think that's a really important step in getting your book finished on the time frame that you decide. So any questions up to now? Because we're going to launch into our group introductions, which is the first time. We'll only do this once, but that's because it's our first meeting. Any questions up to now? All good?
Good.
Okay. So let's get to know each other. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I hope this works now, and see if we can get you all back. Let's see. I think I do this. No, I want to do everybody. See, I'm not that adept at this either.
Linda, I have a quick question.
Yeah, yes.
Is the meeting at 3 next week the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it will be every week at 3 on the Wednesday, but after the next 2 meetings is going to be every second week. So the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th, and then we go to every second week.
Okay.
Just to give you time, because when I did it every week with my other groups, they were all saying there was not enough time to do things. So once you're actually working and doing things, the first 3 weeks are really getting set up. And then after that, you're actually doing things. Oh, okay. Here I see stop share. All right. So now, okay, great. We're back. So I'm going in no particular order. Who would like to start? So we're going to just talk about give your name, where you live, what you do, a little bit about your book, what you think it's going to be. If you're not too sure, then it's fine. Some of you are more sure than others, and that's fine. And what you hope to get out of the course as well. And I see John put up his hand first. So John, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. John Bartemus. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm a chiropractor by trade, but my passion and focus is functional medicine for disease. And my book is going to be on an autoimmune solution. It's kind of the working title, and we'll go from there.
Fantastic, John. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, who would like to go next?
I will go.
Okay, Sally.
I'm Sally Lipsky, and I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I am a educator, but have become plant-based nutritionist. And my working title is Beyond Cancer. The powerful effect of plant-based eating.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sally. I see Melody is on, so hooray. Okay, Melody, do you want to start then, since I just talked to you?
Sure. My name is Dr. Melody Billiot. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a chiropractor, and I focus on functional medicine. I've been in practice for 23 years, and my specialty is women's healthcare and children's issues. So I'd like my book to be on alternative approaches to women's health issues, and it will be more specific than that, but that's what I'm looking at doing, and it's sort of a work in progress right now.
Excellent, excellent. Pauline, would you like to go next?
Okay. Hi, my name's Pauline Baxter. I live in Reading, just outside London in the UK, so it's currently just after 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm a massage practitioner and have been since 1997, full-time. I also run the Academy of On-Site Massage, which is a training school, and that's where myself and Peter work together. And our book is aimed at cautions and contraindications to do with massage, and it's guidance for therapists. We've discovered there's a big gap in knowledge of some therapists. So there you go.
Great. And I'll note, so far, I think your book is the only one that's aimed at practitioners. I'm not sure, maybe someone else's book is aimed that way, but most of the books are aimed at consumers as far as I can tell. So
Yeah.
if you do have a book aimed at practitioners, let us know. Obviously, I'm assuming most of them are aimed at consumers. Peter, would you like to add anything or just introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Peter Pinnock. I live in Sheffield in England, which is slightly north of Pauline. So we don't get together too often, to be fair, but we do work together sometimes. And I'm a massage practitioner as well. And yeah, I've been working for the Academy for many years now. And yeah, looking forward to writing a book.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Ingrid, would you like to continue?
Sure. I'm Ingrid. I'm from the area of Montreal in Quebec, Canada. I am a business psychologist, so I mainly work in companies, helping them hire and develop people. My book is about happiness. It's a practical guide, and I think it will be called 31 Days to Happiness.
That's wonderful. Actually, Ingrid is the only one that lives in the same city as I do, so it's very rare. Most of my clients are all over the place, and I never ever meet them. And I haven't met Ingrid either, except on the phone. But it's nice to see you anyway through the webcam.
We'll meet for coffee.
Yes, one day. When your book is printed, I'll come and get a copy. How's that?
I like it.
All right. Heidi, would you like to continue?
I'm Heidi Schuster, and I'm a nutrition therapist and registered dietitian in the greater Boston area. I have been working in the field of treating disordered eating for about 22 years. And so my book sort of draws from my practice work and kind of what I've discovered around helping people sort of transform their relationship with food and their bodies. So my working title is Eating with Self-Love and Common Sense. We'll see where that goes.
Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, Amy, would you like to continue? Oh, I think you're muted. Yeah, okay.
Okay. My name is Amy Gianni, and I live in Henderson, Nevada, which is just outside of Las Vegas. And I'm a marriage and family therapist turned life coach, and I work with people that have autoimmune illnesses. And I work with them on mindset and how mindset is key to making a lot of the behavioral changes necessary in order to heal their bodies. And so my working title is The Healthy Body Mindset, How to Use Your Mind to Heal Your Body.
And I think you got very high scores in the American Institute for the titles, right?
Yes.
Yeah, really high scores. Amazing. Okay, David, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Hello.
Hi.
My name's David. I live in Arcata, California. It's amongst the redwoods in Northern California. I'm a coach. I specialize in meditation. My book is going to be the 30-Day Meditation Movement with a really great subtitle. And more of a journal and a workbook. And it's about, inspiring people to actually meditate every day, not so much read about meditation every day.
Excellent. Wonderful. Nicole, that's you on the iPad, right?
It is. Can you hear me now, Linda?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. I finally got the app to work.
Good.
My name is Nicole. I am living in North Carolina in the Asheville area right now. I am a clinical nutritionist and a functional medicine practitioner. I usually work with a lot of functional medicine doctors and stuff as their nutritionist. So my book is going to be on gut health and restoration, basically a good plan for healing the gut, why it's important, why it's connected to just about every chronic health condition out there. And I'm just excited to get it done. I've been working on it for a year and just keeping time to get around to it. So that's my goal in signing up here.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And Dr. Mitzi, let's hear from you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Mitzi Johnson. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I come to this as I'm a board certified pediatrician that has transitioned over to integrative and functional medicine. And my and I'm in the Boston area. My practice is actually on the South Shore, but I live in the Boston area. And I have, unfortunately, multiple topics to draw from. One of them is sort of a whole person health approach to X, and the X is moving toward stress, stress to the level of burnout. And so I don't have an actual working title at the moment, but that's the topic that I'm looking at. And I also haven't fully decided. My initial goal, and mostly my passion actually, is writing for the consumer in light of the drive for patient-centered care, that the notion is patient-centered care, but patients have no idea what's expected of them, and they have little insight as to how to work best in the system and to do self-care. So hopefully I can pull this together in my book somehow with your help.
Sure, and we haven't had a conversation yet, which is probably why you're still a little bit up in the air of the topic. I have had conversations with a few of you, not everybody because of the unfortunate derailment I had last week, but I will be speaking with you, and I think it's helped to focus some of you, right? The people I spoke to. So, you know, it's all a work in progress right now. Don't worry if you're not sure of your focus. Oops, sorry about that. Don't worry if you're not sure about your focus or your title or anything else, because this is the progress that we're going through right now. However, I would like to just give you the opportunity to, too many phones ringing here. Sorry. Give you the opportunity for a moment to talk to anyone in the group if anyone wants to say anything in particular to someone else about their topic, because some of you are not writing the same topic, nobody is, but some of you might have some really good, you know, kind of like ways that you can help each other. You know, you may have the same audience, but a different topic. So is there anyone else that just wants to say anything particular to anyone else just in reaction to what you've heard? And if not, that's fine. Maybe it's too soon, so that's good. But you're going to be seeing each other, whoever shows their face, or you'll hear each other on all the meetings that you come to and in the forum. So I really hope that eventually there are some kind of joint venture kind of things that happened with my other group where people interviewed each other for their books. People cross-promoted each other's books. And that's really wonderful because you'll all have your own audiences. And so, you know, you'll have your book come out, and then some of the other books, many of the other books will probably be equally valuable to your audience. So, you know, you 10x the exposure you have, you know, in this group by just being exposed to other people's audiences. So, and your patients benefit too because they're different topics. So now I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. You'll be on the side. And again, please ask questions. I'll just ask you to mute yourself just because there's some background noise. But when you have a question, just unmute yourself and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So let's go back here. All right, so great to meet you all. I'm delighted to see your faces. So I'm just going to pick up on a few things that we started talking about in the boot camp, and we're going to be expanding on a lot of things. So in the boot camp, we talked about the publishing industry and why self-publishing is the best path for most of you. Now, it may not be the best path for everybody. It may be that somebody in this group or more than one person should be looking at a large publisher or even a smaller publisher, but not self-publishing, and that we can discuss individually. But the only people I would say that should consider it is if somebody has a really large list. If you have a really large following on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or something where you know that you could probably sell thousands of copies of your book right away when it comes out. Otherwise, for most of you, and I know this question was asked at the boot camp, do you think self-publishing is the best route? I think it is for probably most people right now, because as I said, it's harder and harder to get a publishing contract. So here are some of the, I won't go into it for very long, but just a quick summary. If you want a publisher, you need a large platform, meaning thousands and thousands of buyers ready. You need to factor in a large time frame, which means from the time you get a publishing contract, it could take a year or 2 years. The costs, I mean, yes, you could get an advance, but you have to pay that back out of your sales, so you don't actually make money very quickly out of that. It takes a long time to make money, unless you're massively popular and you could just sell tons of copies. And you have to do the marketing yourself, whether you publish yourself or with a publisher. That's the missing link that most people don't know, is that the publisher does not really do much marketing for you until you become a success, and then they do marketing for you. But people think it's the other way around. So not much advantage right now with getting a publisher, but the thing that could happen is that if you do sell a lot of copies, or you do build a large list, a publisher might come to you, and that's much easier and much more pleasant to have a publisher come to you and offer you a contract, and then you would decide if it's worth it or not. You might even decide it's not worth it, or it might be a wonderful contract. So again, if you're not sure, I'm happy to discuss this individually with anybody, but I'm assuming that all of you are going down the route, at least for now, of self-publishing. Self-publishing no longer has the stigma it used to. There's a rise of indie publishing where everybody is publishing. However, the thing you have to remember if you don't want the stigma is that it has to be professional. So you have to make sure it's professionally edited, professionally designed, professional cover. Otherwise, there is a stigma, and there used to be a very bad one where people could spot a homemade cover a mile away and bookstores wouldn't carry them. Now that is much less so, but there's kind of a big scale of people on the lower end that get the $5 covers and the templates and do the interior themselves, and it shows, and the people that do get the professional design. Now, I also put a few of you in touch with one of the book designers that I work with, and the costs were a little bit higher than you thought, and that's because she actually included a lot of things that I think you don't need. So I have a meeting set up with her tomorrow. I want to actually work out a special plan for you guys, for all of you. And I do have another person you could work with as well, but I want to kind of streamline it a bit because some of the things she included are things I'm already including in the course, and you don't need to pay for them twice. So don't worry if you got I think there's only 2 of you might have seen a higher ticket price than you wanted, because you don't need all of that. So we're going to decide later what you need, and that's why I'm guiding you, so that you don't pay for what you don't need. But she didn't really know. I hadn't had a chance to talk with her, so she just kind of gave you her regular pricing. Okay, so again, with self-publishing, as you know, the time frame is going to be much shorter than if you get a publisher. You know, you will, hopefully all of you will be publishing within 3 to 6 months. Some of you closer, 3 months, some of you may take a little longer, but you should get there much sooner than you would ever get with a publisher. The costs will vary, and I'm doing a lot of hard work to make sure that there's different price points for everything. I know some of you want something high-end, some of you want a bit more budget-friendly, and I'm not going to leave you in the lurch. I'm going to find you really good people to do things at whatever your budget. So we'll be talking with you on that. And the marketing is also something I'm going to be building into this whole course from the beginning. So it's not like, okay, you're going to write your book and finish it, and then you're holding a book and you don't know what to do with it. Like all along, we're always going to be talking about how is your book fitting into your business, into your practice? What are you going to do with your book? This will be different for each of you because each of your businesses is a little bit different. But we'll always be talking about that because your book is part of your business, is part of your practice, and it's a way to launch your business and practice to a higher level. So you always have to be thinking of how you're going to market it. And there's many things I'm going to be talking about. We talked about the truth about bestsellers and the New York Times bestsellers, which really you need to have a huge marketing team and pay a lot of money. I don't know if I told you the story, but Arianna Huffington, who owns the Huffington Post, she's written several books recently, and she wrote her book about her business book, I think maybe 2-3 years ago. And everyone would think, well, I mean, Arianna Huffington, I mean, she's so famous, she would get a bestseller no matter what. Well, no, because I happen to know behind the scenes that she hired a huge agency and paid a huge amount of money to market her book for her, to get the book marketing done, because she didn't know how to market her book, even though she knows you know, she runs the Huffington Post. That was a different skill, and she paid a lot of money because it's a top agency that charges a lot, and they disclosed how much she paid. And then she got a bestseller. So is it worth it? Probably yes, for her it's worth it. Is it worth it for you? I doubt it. I don't think you need a bestseller. I don't think you need that to get your business to the level you want, to leave your legacy, to help more patients and clients. And as I said, an Amazon bestseller, I mean, it's nice to say you have it, but it's not, I think, the goal. Some of you will have one, some of you won't. It doesn't matter really. It matters that you know your own goal and your own goal for your business and yourself personally, and that's what you work for, and that each of you have your own goal. So any questions up to now? If anyone has a question, I'm always going to stop and answer anything. If I don't hear anything, I'll continue, so we're all good. So one of the things I asked you to do is to make a contract with yourself. And so one of the good things about a publisher is that you do have a contract and you do have editors and designers to work with. So you're within a framework. And so we need to create that framework for you and for each other, for yourselves. You're going to be creating that framework with my help with this course. And the contract with yourself is the day that you decide you want to have your published book in your hands. It doesn't need to be launched then, but you want your published book, assuming that you want print copies, you want to be holding your print copy in your hands. So you're going to be your own penguin, or you could be publishing with Wellness Inc. if you choose later, or your own publishing company, which is very easy to set up. And you're going to choose your own date, which is hopefully within 3 to 6 months. Now, so that's why I'm asking you to pick your own date that has some meaning to you. And one person in the group picked a date that was special in the family, and I won't say who it is or what it is, but I just suggested to her that that's a special day for some other family members, and you don't need to share that. You can have your own special day. So let your family members have their special birthday or graduation or whatever it is. It might be your birthday if you have a birthday coming up, or it could be something else. It could be a business event. I've always actually tied my own personal book launches to a business event, because I decided, all right, I'm going to be, sometimes I was speaking at a certain conference and I wanted to have the books ready for speaking, but sometimes I wasn't even my own conference. I didn't have something coming up. So another time, somebody I know was leading a conference and she agreed to buy some copies of the book and give them out, and she did. And so I worked like crazy to get the books ready. Even though I didn't sell a huge amount, it was my incentive. I said, okay, by this date, I need to get the book done, and I did. So I encourage you to pick your own date and really do everything you can, because you're choosing it yourself. I'm not choosing it for you, to really do everything you can to get your book done by that date. Now, many of you said you're worried about the 90 days. So if you can do it in 90 days, that's fine. There's no magical thing. I mean, 90 days is doable, but it's not magic. If it takes a little longer, so we're going to be together on the course for 5 months. So March, April, May, June, July, we'll still be having meetings, even though the content will be covered a little bit before that. And after that, if you find that you need more help, I have different ways I can help you. It's individual for each person, because it depends on what you need. Some people will still be needing editing. Some people just need some guidance through the final steps. Some people may need something else. So I will always be there to help you with extra help if you need it. So don't be worried if you're not finished within that time period. Now, I also want to say the difference between a plot twist and distraction. So a plot twist is something that turns your life upside down, as actually happened to me last week when my father died very unexpectedly. I did not expect that last week. And things happen in life, right? I mean, good and bad things can disrupt you and derail you. And I mean, if life happens, because everyone kept saying, well, what happens if life happens? So it happens, and you do what you need to do. If you have to take a break from the book, you take a break. You come back to it when you can. But what I want to caution you is to not let distractions derail you. So at some point, it may be that you just oh, you're tired or you don't feel like it or you have too many office things going on or family things. And there may be a point where you need to put up a sign on your office door or whatever it is and say, please don't disturb me. I need this hour from 6 to 7 a.m. to work on my book, and that's what I'm going to do, or whatever time it is, weekend or evening or, you know, whatever it is. So there is a difference, and I saw in my other students in my last course that some people did get distracted. And, you know, they started other projects and they started, something else came up, and these were not crucial things. They were not life events, but they just got distracted. So they're still on course, but they're just doing it more slowly. And I don't want that to happen to you unless you choose, you know, unless you make a conscious decision. But I can tell you that if you don't continue, it gets harder to come back if you let distractions take over. So, you know, kind of map out your time, your personal time that's best for you to write or do whatever you need for your book. Try to set aside certain hours a week, certain days of the week, whatever works for you, and, you know, put up that mental do not disturb sign for yourself, for your family members, your office staff, whoever it is that needs to see that. And this comes down to your why. So I asked you to do the why document. There was one document which was the why and the contract with yourself. And I really do urge you to fill those out for yourself, because you can print those up or frame it or do whatever, stick it on your bulletin board or put it on your iPad or whatever is easiest for you to see every day. But when you know your why, you know, why are you writing this book, for your business or for your patients or whatever it is, that will propel you. Because if you don't have a why, then the distractions come in and derail you. So very, very important to do that. Now, we talked about the difference between a health book or a wellness book and other kinds of books. And we're on track with that with everyone I've talked to so far, and I'm sure with the others too. Your health book, to my mind, needs to be transformational and or solve a problem. Now, in the case of Peta and Pauline, sorry. Your book may be a little bit different. It's solving a problem for professionals, for massage professionals. So it's slightly different, but it really is the same thing, I believe. It's solving problems for what they don't know or need to know to have a successful massage practice. For the rest of you, for the ones I've spoken to, you have some audience members, the public, that have some health problems, health and wellness problems, and you're working to solve them, to give them some solutions. And we talked about, excuse me, the pain or problems your clients are suffering from, or an aspiration, which could be to be, you know, more energetic, to sleep better, to be smarter, or whatever it is, and how your book is helping them transform. So I want to just go over a few points from the creator brief and the reader profile. And I'm hoping that some of you have started filling it out. Maybe some of you have finished. Maybe some of you haven't had a chance, because I realize I was hoping to get this to you on the weekend and I didn't send it till Monday. So maybe you haven't had a chance yet. But the sole purpose is to figure out your book's focus, audience, and purpose. And if you don't have that, then you're going to have a shaky foundation, because this may be a little tedious and it may be a little hard to do, and it maybe you feel like skipping it because you feel like, I just want to start writing. But I can tell you that laying the foundation for your book is really important, really knowing your audience, really knowing their pain points, really knowing their problems. And if you don't do that, so here's what happened with one of my clients last time. Her name is Deb, and she's a nutritionist, and she wrote the wrong book. So what happened was that she told me she wanted to write a book on food allergies, and that's fine. She's a nutritionist, and she knew a lot about food allergies. She suffered from food allergies. She really had a lot of information, you know, a great table of contents. Everything was fine. And she also had some private consulting with me, so she sent me her whole manuscript. The first draft one is finished. Now, the book was very readable. It had great information, but I realized that she's Christian and very devoted to her faith. And this kind of language was imbued throughout the whole book. And I thought, well, okay, wait a minute. This is a fantastic book for somebody who believes what she believes and has the same religious inclination. But for anybody else, it's not going to be a good book because they're going to be put off by it, because that's not what they want to hear about. They bought a book about food allergies. Well, why is she talking about faith? So I had a call with her, and we decided that she was going to pivot a bit and write a book called The Christian Woman's Guide to Food Allergies. And that made all the difference, because now, there's plenty of Christian women. There's plenty of Christian women with food allergies. It's not like there's no population out there. There's plenty. And so those women will pick up the book and say, this is for me. Wow, thank you for writing this book. It's exactly what I need. And anyone else will not pick up the book, but that's fine, because you don't want somebody to pick up the book and say, oh my God, this is not what I bought. I didn't want to learn about religion. I wanted to learn about, peanut butter, and should I eat it or not? So if you got the wrong book and the wrong audience pick it up, only two things will happen. People will try to return your book if they can, or people will give you a bad review on Amazon and say this book is not what it says it's about. And that's not going to be good for you or your practice, no matter how good the book is for somebody. So knowing your client, knowing who you want to write for is really, really crucial. And if we get to the next step and anyone doesn't know that, and I haven't had the conversation with you, make sure we have a conversation, because I don't want you to not know your audience. Many people think, I'm just going to skip ahead a bit, that your audience is everybody, and I'm trying very hard to dissuade everybody that your audience is everybody, because it's really not. Even though everybody in theory could benefit from, knowing about food allergies or knowing about anything else, honestly, not everybody will want to know about it. Not everybody will pick up your book, or not everybody will be looking for your book. So you have to find the people that are looking for your solution, or at least aware enough that they have that problem, and that your book addresses the problem. So just going back again, 3 questions to ask yourself at all times. Who is my book for? Always be aware of your audience. Why will readers buy my book? And how will my book grow my business or practice and make me the authority, if that's what you're looking for? And another thing that we need to talk about in the creator brief, number 12, I want to just highlight this, is the market gap, because your book needs to fill a gap in the market. So if there's a lot of books on food allergies, and there probably are, well, Deb's book on the Christian Woman's Guide to Food Allergies, well, probably there's not much competition there. So whatever you're writing about, I can guarantee there's books on the general topic, there's books on nutrition, there's books on every aspect of health out there. And that's another reason you need to narrow it down to know who your reader is, how you're going to reach them, how you're going to talk to them, and how your book is going to fill a gap, so that there's no book exactly the same as your book that addresses your market and has your solution. And your book will be different once you figure this out. So this is the process that we're doing on the first week or two. So again, classic mistake of trying to write to everyone. And I came across this today from Confucius: the man or woman who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. So if you're trying to chase all different audiences, men and women and young people and old people and, everybody, you'll catch nobody. So try to catch your best rabbit, or your best, your best audience members, and write and talk to them. And as we talked about, the easiest way to do this, if you already have a practice, a clientele, is think about, you're creating your avatar. Imagine the client that you're already working with, your ideal client, the client that you enjoy working with, that you help, that you kind of love the work. This happened, I think, with Melody when we had a conversation, and she started off saying that there was a wide audience for her book, and a lot of people had problems that she helps. And yes, she does help a lot of people, and a lot of people come to her. But we started talking about, who do you love to help? Well, she just spontaneously came out and said, I love to help this kind of client, and I have great results with this kind of client. And I said, well, that's who your book is about. And, we all kind of slapped our foreheads, because that's perfect. She loves to help those clients. She has plenty of people with that problem that she can help. And so that's a perfect solution, and it almost gives you chills, and makes you excited when you hear about that. So just take a sip of water. Excuse me. So you met my client. I mean, I have many clients, but this is my avatar, Dr. Michael, and he came on the Tuesday morning call, the Valentine's Day call, calling in all the way from Japan at 5 o'clock in the morning, not having slept. Well, that's a devoted client, but excuse me. The reason he did that is because we had such a good working relationship. So he's my avatar. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a woman or someone else. I mean, I'm hoping that you're all my avatars, but he's the kind of client I want to attract because I helped him. We worked well together. He got great results, and I'd love to have more of him, more clients exactly like him. And I mean in characteristics. Obviously, many of you are women. That's not the point. So if you can find your Dr. Michael or your avatar, the perfect client for you, it's wonderful, because when I'm writing anything for you guys, I think of what questions did Dr. Michael ask me? What did he not know? And then I have a good idea of what you might not know. Many times he surprised me with questions that I thought I had explained and I didn't, or that I thought people knew in general, which people don't. So for example, he was saying that if he should get a publisher, the good thing is they'll do marketing for him. And I thought, oh, well, I guess I didn't explain that, because no, they don't do marketing. And I thought, okay, well, a lot of people probably don't know that. So it's important that I mention it more than once. So again, finding your ideal audience, your target audience, is probably the most important thing you're doing at this stage. And when you do find it, your book title and your focus, it has to make the right person say, that's for me. Somebody has to say, that's for me, because if no one says that's for me, then nobody buys your book. It has to speak so strongly to one audience type, one group of people, that they say, that's for me, that they're going to pull it off the shelf. They're going to see it on Amazon, and as soon as they see it, they're going to say, that's for me. I have that problem and I need this book. So the next thing I want to talk about is the reader's biggest fears and pain points. Now, do we sell on fear or do we sell on hope? Well, as a copywriter, we sell both. We need to do both. But the biggest thing that you need to mention is that people don't buy, not too many people buy prevention. You know, we might have vitamins or supplements or certain foods we recommend or whatever it is. And the average person, I'm on the exception. There's an extreme group of people, maybe 20%, that buy prevention. I mean, I read every health book and do everything for prevention because I don't want to get sick. But the average person doesn't. Probably your average client doesn't, and will only contact you when they're sick or they have a problem. They're not contacting you when they're well. So you have to know their pain points really well, and be addressing their pain points. And I mean, I did a lot of research even before launching this course to find out, well, what are your pain points? And so some of you told me you're confused, or you're overwhelmed about writing a book, or you don't know where to start, you don't know how to publish. Well, I talked about all those things because if I hadn't, you probably would not be very interested. If I didn't know what was bothering you, you wouldn't have listened to me, because it wouldn't be helping you. So I had to find out what's bothering you. They weren't my pain points at that point, because I already knew that stuff. But I had to find out and do research and to find out your pain points so that I could help you overcome them. That's what I'm doing with this course. And so you probably know many of your clients or readers' pain points, but maybe you don't. Maybe you have to do some research as well. And if you know, probably by going to your best clients, the ones that you've had the greatest success with, those are the pain points that you need to address, but you need to be clear in your mind. Now, another thing that came up, excuse me, in our talk, forgive me for the person I spoke to about this. This probably applies to about half the group at least. Does anyone care about functional medicine? And the reason I'm going to be bringing up things that I talk about to you individually and sometimes mention your names and sometimes not is because these are things that everybody's saying the same thing to me. So one of you said, well, I want to talk about functional medicine and how it's so much better than traditional medicine in helping my clients. And I thought, yes, I mean, that's great, but nobody except another health practitioner is going online looking for books on functional medicine. Functional medicine is your tool. It's a better tool than any other tool that you have. It's a better method or tool than traditional medicine, at least in your point of view, and I happen to agree. But it's not what people are going online saying, oh my God, I need to find a book on functional medicine. Unless they're really the 20%, the top 10% that know that I want to find a functional medicine practitioner because traditional medicine hasn't worked for me. So this is a very basic thing we learn as a copywriter, and as you know, I'm also a copywriter. I write for companies. People don't buy a lawnmower, they buy a nice lawn. People don't buy a hammer, they buy the hole in the wall so they can hang up their picture. So you're not selling the tools, you're selling the end results. People don't really care what the tools are until you get to that point. Again, nobody buys vitamins because they enjoy swallowing a tablet or a pill or a capsule. They buy a vitamin because they want the end results, if they believe that a vitamin will, help them prevent disease or give them more energy, whatever they believe. There's a classic story, which I want you to find a picture where, in copywriting, where they say nobody ever woke up in the middle of the night and said, oh my God, I forgot to cleanse my liver last night. I mean, nobody does that, right? People might say, I'm not feeling well, and then they find out that they need a liver cleanse, but nobody wakes up and say, oh my God, I forgot to cleanse my liver. All they say is, I don't feel well. I don't have energy. Something's bothering me. So be very careful about not putting the mechanism or the tools you use as the title of your book. Put the benefits. That's what people are looking for. That's what people are going to buy. And again, as I said, more people buy solutions than prevention. It's the small percentage of people that buy prevention. Yes, some people do. I'm not saying no. But most people, if it might be for cancer. People are freaked out about cancer. They might buy a book on nutrition not to get cancer. But more people are not even aware that nutrition necessarily has a huge impact on gut health and on autoimmune disease. I mean, we're hyper aware of that, so we think it's obvious to everybody. But the average person, they don't know that their gut is affecting everything. They don't know that functional medicine can help them. They don't know that, all these things, they're just apparent to us, are not apparent to them. So you have to start with what people know, what your audience knows, and then, educate them to the next step. We talked about not trying to write everything in an encyclopedia, and I've talked to some of you about narrowing it down. And again, that's the process that we're going through. And if, in the conversations I'm having one-on-one, and if you're not there yet and we need another conversation, then we'll have that. So the two things important, who you're writing for and narrowing your topic. And I'm bringing this to a close for now in a minute because we're going to have Q&A, but I just want to mention, don't get stuck on trying to write the perfect book. It's easy to get all tangled up and say, even if you're not writing everything you want to write the most perfect book you can. And try to write excellent. Try to write an excellent book, the best book you can for now. Get the book out. You can always do a second edition, and a second edition is a good thing because nobody does a second edition unless it's selling well. Publishers only put out a second edition when the book is selling, so that's a good thing. You can always update your book. You can always change something in your book. With Amazon, it's as easy as changing something the next day. You can put a new chapter in the next day if you want. And it's actually a good thing. You can actually email people who bought your book and say there's an added chapter, and if you want the book, I'll give it to you at a discount, the new book or whatever. If you're printing books, probably you're not printing huge quantities anymore. So You can print as many as you need and then print another edition, you know, and just get the next edition out. So don't get stuck and get delayed and not finish your book because you're trying to do a perfect book. Do the best book you can, do an excellent book, and then get it done. And one of the secrets is to be totally focused on your reader. We talked about being of service to your readers, being of service to health or healing or whatever it is. And I think if you focus on that, if you know your reader, if you know your solution that you're providing, you know the pain points you're helping them with, and you're focused on helping your reader, then I think that you will have a wonderful book. You will not have any reason not to have a wonderful book, as long as you have the professional editing that makes it readable and it's put together well. You're absolutely going to have a totally successful book. So just finishing a little bit, we're getting to the end. I want to talk briefly about the back cover copy, because I did tell you that you should write the back cover copy before you write anything else, once you've done the reader profile and everything. And so under, I now have we have the bootcamp videos, we have worksheets and templates. And the template, I just put that up, I think, yesterday or today. You may not have seen it. So you can go there and you'll see the template for back cover copy. Now, I'm really cautioning you, don't worry about getting this perfect for now. It's the kind of a working title, it's a working back cover copy, and it's to focus your thinking. And as I said, at the end, when you have the content, I'm going to polish it for you, but that's going to come a little bit later. All of you got in time to get the polishing. So this is what the template looks like that I want you to focus on for now. And again, a working copy. So ask a few questions or pique your reader's interest, 2 or 3 statements or facts about your topic. Or one or two sentences about how your book answers the questions or addresses these issues. I'm going to give you an example in a minute. Then in this book you will discover, and you're going to put 5 to 8 short bullet points. And they're going to be powerful ones, powerful verbs such as improve, increase, reduce, develop, concrete kind of, reduce pain, increase well-being, improve mood, whatever it is, reduce weight, whatever you want. Try to avoid, use concrete results that are measurable, and try to avoid things like feel better, because feeling better is very subjective. So, you're going to feel better after you do this. Well, kind of hard to measure, but, if you reduce your weight by 5 pounds next week, I mean, that's measurable. And then the next part is state who the book is for. So again, that's your reader profile. This book is for women 35 to 55 suffering from back pain or whatever it is. And maybe 2 to 3 very short paragraphs, couple of lines on how you will do that. So I gave you an example. This is from David Wolf. When you open the template, you'll see the link to the book. And I love the way this book is done. It's with a publisher, so he probably didn't do it himself. But if you look at the back of any books you have at home, I mean, there's all kinds of things on the back. Some of the covers are good, some of the back covers are not good. I've even written some not such good covers in the past for my own books, but I kind of discovered this kind of system, which I think works really well now. So again, the opening paragraph, just maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 lines, not more. Pique the reader's interest, tell them something that interests them. It could be a question or something of interest. Then you have a few bullet points. He may have a few many. You could do 5 or 6, that's fine. And the bullet points must have a benefit. And you can see that these are really strong. So balance your hormones. So you have, to increase health and strength and whatever. He gives you the end point. Once you balance your hormones, all these good things will happen. Cleanse your body, down to the cellular, effectively combat systematic inflammation. They don't all have a good benefit, but most of them do. You want the end benefit at the end of each bullet point. He briefly tells you who the book is for, created for beginners and advanced health and nutrition students alike. So people interested in nutrition. He's a little bit broad because he talks about both advanced and beginner, but it could be a little more focused, but it's still good. and then the benefits packed with dozens of unique and delicious recipes, plenty of tips, blah, blah, blah. So you can use this as a kind of model. And I said, again, do not try to do this perfectly now. Do this as a working copy because you're going to be revising it. But again, if you can get some working copy of this, it'll go a long way to helping you focus your book. So that's why I'm just asking you to, make an attempt and make a stab at it in the next week or so. So we're coming to the end of today's time when I'm talking, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Just a few tips on how to get the most from this sprint program. As I said, do your best to keep up with the homework with whatever I'm giving you each week, barring, unforeseen life events. Try to keep up, because if you start getting behind, you're going to find yourself like kind of rushing and feeling behind. So again, do your best. Ask questions. You're going to have plenty of questions when you're stuck. Nobody should be stuck for more than a couple of hours, because I'm going to be there answering questions. If you're not sure what to do, I'll be there, and the fellow course members will be there in the platform next week. Keep moving forward and aim for excellent, not perfect, because there is no perfect, but you can get excellent. You can get very high quality. And again, I will be giving you recommended resources for everything. So I recommend you use them just because it'll avoid losing time, especially with editing, etc. when we get to that point. We'll get back to that again, so don't worry about that. Our next, the homework and the next call. So for the homework until next week is to keep working on these things and make advances in all of them. Get your why statement and publishing date. That you should be able to do pretty fast, even if you have to edit it. Work on the creative brief as much as you can. Work on your reader profile, complete them as much as you can, and start working on the back cover copy. And, as much as you can by next week. Next week, there won't be that much new stuff. We'll be going over it, so you'll have a chance to keep working on it. So I think that's all I have for today, and I would like to answer any questions you have. We have as much time as you need. If you need to get off, I understand. If you want to stay on, I'm going to stay on with you. So any questions, you can unmute yourself, and I think I'll stop the sharing and we'll all come back on now. Yes.
I definitely have questions.
Sure.
I don't know how many, what I should ask first, or so any chance can we get your outline, your course outline emailed to us so we can just look at the notes instead of listen to the whole thing on playback?
Yes, you mean for what's happening every week? Yes.
Yeah, what you just used as your course outline to teach us from. Can we get that so I could just look at that instead of listening to the recording?
You'll get the slides if you want to watch the slides. Yeah, you can just look through the slides and you don't have to listen. You'll also get the video file and also the audio file if you want to listen while you're not, looking at something. So you'll have 3 ways to do it.
Okay, great. And is there any disadvantage to starting your own publishing company, versus doing it with you?
There's no disadvantage. It's very easy. Anybody can start a publishing company. You just pick a name. You can get a logo, a logo done if you want, and you have your publishing company. And if you intend to publish more than one book and make your business, books part of your business, then that's a really good idea. The one benefit of publishing with me, and that's only a benefit in some ways, is that it's other than yourself. So it looks like you have a publishing company. I'm not a big publishing company, but that's completely your own choice, and I'm not pushing anyone to do that. So you can decide that later, but yes, anybody can just declare yourself a publisher. You are a publisher. You probably publish blog posts or podcasts or something anyway, right? So you're a publisher. I just want to take a moment to welcome Cassandra. Cassandra, are you there? I just saw you. Can you unmute yourself? Hi, and can you introduce yourself? I know you just came on and it must be early morning for you in Australia,
Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's 7 a.m., but I think the call started at 6, so I'll have to just adjust my timing. But so I'm really sorry I missed you all, but it's great to see everybody. And just a quick introduction. Yeah, look, I've got a varied background. I started off in consulting in the corporate world, in marketing and human resources and organizational development. And then I moved into the fitness and wellness industry. So I've got a background as a personal trainer and a wellness coach. And I then also moved into owning a couple of fitness and wellness facilities. So at the moment, I've got some great time and great space. I've been doing some study. I've been doing some study in working on calibrating the nervous system and the brain for, it's a kind of therapy. It's a fairly new thing, but also doing some research on branding and human-centered design thinking. So I'm looking at some options to bring something new to the market, and I would really like my book to support that. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Oh, wonderful, Cassandra. Thank you. Yeah, and we have our call tomorrow, so we'll discuss that further tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, wonderful. Who else has a question?
Linda, I had a couple about the creative brief.
Okay.
We're talking about things like market gap and awareness and competition, things like that. How do we go about researching something like that on our topic, other than just using personal experience?
I would just go to Amazon and type in, some variations of a title that you think, or the keywords that you would use in your title, and see what comes up. And then just, give yourself a little time. Click on the books that look like they're in your category. Look at the titles, look at the table of contents, try to figure out, if you can, who the ideal reader would be, who they're targeting as their reader, and maybe even make a list of the top titles. If you go in the Kindle section, that's probably a better section because there's more books there. And, look at the top 10 books in nutrition or anything related to your topic. You can drill down quite a lot by putting in keywords, and then there's always the top 10 books. And just see, those books are selling. I showed you how to find out if you look on the sales rank and it's under 100,000, it means those books are selling. So if it's, many 100,000, the books are not selling. So under 100,000, see how many books are in that category. I'll go over this a little bit more next week. I'll show you how to do it again, but you can just do a little experimentation and look at the titles and see what are the topics, and then see where there's a gap. Like you might find something that's not being addressed that much that you think is important. So that's what you're really looking for. It's a combination of your expertise and skill, the books that are already there, and how you can kind of position your book so that it hits a target, it fills a need, and it's not overly used. Like there's not 10 books saying the same thing already. Is that a good start for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. Other questions?
Linda?
Yes.
I'll be missing next week, unfortunately. Is that going to be easy to catch up since it's setting up the platform?
It won't be a problem. I will be sending you email on how to get set up. Most of it will come by email, and then I'll just go through some things live. So don't worry about it. And if you have any problems, we'll get together on the phone and I'll help you out.
Thank you.
I have a question, Linda.
Yes.
Tell me more. So the date that I'm picking for my publishing date, you say that's different from the launch date?
Yes, because the launch is a bit of a process, especially the launch on Amazon. It takes about 3 weeks. And there's certain things where you price it at one level, and then you change the price and you have it for free for a few days and you tell everyone you know about it and that kind of thing. So the publication date, that could be just for you. I mean, it means that you want to have your book in your hands, your printed book. Doesn't mean it's necessarily on Amazon. You could still wait 2 weeks and put it on Amazon, or 3 weeks. It's not going to hurt anything, because you have to be ready. When you want to get it on Amazon, the first month is the most crucial, when Amazon gives kind of more power, more juice to the new books. And you don't want to miss that by not being ready. So the Amazon launch is a different thing. It's not the most important thing in the world to launch on Amazon. You know, it may be important for some people, not for others. But I want you to have your book in your hands when you decide. Could be for a conference, could be for your own, you know, pleasure, whatever it is you want, because you will have your book. And I mean, you will probably want to send some copies to family and friends, to some patients, put it on your website. You can do your own launch on your website. It doesn't have to be on Amazon, or it could be both. So that's why I'm saying, like, the publication date is not necessarily the launch date. Like, they're kind of two different things.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. And
You're
then
welcome.
My other question is, I was looking at the dates of the classes. I want to make sure I clear my calendar. And some of the dates listed are like right next to each other. So is that like, I think you've listed May 3rd and May 10th.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah, let me clarify that. I'm going to go back, and I want to do a little more clarification, and I will send out a new calendar to everybody before next week. So just keep March. March is set in stone for now. Okay. And then April, I know that we run into holidays. There's Easter and some other holidays in April. So there might be a little variation possibly, and then May as well. So let me get back to you on that, and I'll send a new calendar to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Linda.
Yes.
This is Mitzi.
Yeah.
Will we be meeting on March 29th? Which is 2 weeks after the 15th.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just checking. Did I not put that? Oh, sorry, I'm looking. Yes. Did I not put that on the calendar?
Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yeah. So March is today, the 8th, the 15th. Sorry, I'm still in February here. 15th and 29th, not the week in between. 15th and 29th, not the 22nd, because then we start every 2 weeks.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I'm going through like my first 30-day meditation journey live with a class right now. And like 6 students in there that have never really, you know, they're brand new to meditation. And this is the first time I've ever done like a beginners, you know, it's for like, and so how can I like interview, like how can I use this to my advantage to understand my ideal audience more? Is that?
That's an excellent thing to be doing, because you have your guinea pigs in there, right? I think that, first of all, if you could, is this live in person or on live online?
Over the teleconference class.
Okay. So you're recording everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, the recordings themselves, I think you told me that you're going to have a good part of your script, your manuscript, just from that, right? Or you're going to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fantastic. I mean, even better to be doing a class than even having someone interview you, because you're actually teaching it live. You will have the transcripts. And also, I think that is, if you can jump on a Zoom meeting with them like this, something like this, and just ask them questions like, what are you finding hard? What's confusing you? What's stopping you? Did you meditate today? If not, why not? You know, just like really dig deep and ask them where their pain points are, where their sticking points are, because all of those things you need to address in your book, because if your 6 students have those problems, everyone else has those problems.
Yes. Okay. Very good.
And if you're not on Zoom, I don't know how many of you are new to Zoom. I think it's a wonderful platform for meetings. It's a little bit harder with webinars. It works well, but for meetings, it's very inexpensive. It's $15 a month, which is like really nothing. And you can have all the meetings you want, I think for up to 100 people, something like that. And then after that, you have to have a webinar. So anybody that's doing any kind of training or if you can interview people on Zoom, if you can have these kind of meetings and pick people's brains or find out their pain points, your patients, your clients, I recommend this very much. You can see them, you can see people's faces, you know, and so much better when you interact live than just a voice. You know, just because you form a relationship when you see somebody's face, not just when you hear them. So for David, I think that would be ideal for you if you could do some of them on Zoom. And for anyone else that's doing the same kind of thing as well, where you want to maybe get a little group of your patients or clients and say, hey, I'm writing a book on this topic. I'd love to know what you don't understand. I'd love to know where you're having trouble. I'd love to know how I can help you, and just talk to them. And you'll get a wealth of information, I promise you.
Hey, Linda, could we even use some kind of a format between ourselves, since we're all writing on different things, where we could ask each other, you know, if you had a client that you wanted to explain this topic to, what would be your fears regarding this? Or kind of use each other as guinea pigs?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm doing this visual format, is that you see each other. We're going to be in the Finnish Agent Forum, where you're going to be interacting with each other. I want you to help each other. Absolutely. I mean, approach anybody in the group or everybody in the group who can help each other, and say, or, you know, you can say, I need help with what people don't understand about digestion or nutrition or whatever. Who wants to come join me on Zoom for 20 minutes on Tuesday? Whatever, you know. Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Linda.
Yeah.
One thing David could use that or anyone in the group could use that I've used is I have a private Facebook group for my patients. And so in that group, I've asked my patients, if I were writing a book about XYZ, what questions would you want answered, or what health questions have you always had that you've never received a good, you know, explanation about, or blah, blah, blah. So that way you have your targeted market who are already raving fans, who even those people, you haven't answered all their questions. So you can safely draw questions from them, answer their questions, and then answer questions that probably people you haven't met yet have.
Absolutely. Fantastic idea, John. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Another thing you can do is that, you know, if you're writing a chapter and your clients or patients have asked you a question, you can say, hey, I wrote this chapter now. Does it answer your questions? I'd love your feedback. And so you can just give out individual chapters once you've written them and say, you know, what do you think? What's missing? You know, what did I not explain?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Like, I won't have much of a book if the person doesn't listen to the corresponding meditation. Like that, and like I'm already picturing the book with like attached with a journal and a workbook and you know, like an experience. Mm-hmm. This is okay, right? I mean, I feel like I have 1,000 questions I could ask you, but
yeah, that's okay.
That's like where I'm going. I mean, that's okay, right? That's.
So let me clarify. So a lot of your book is going to be you're going to have meditations to go with the book. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess I don't know yet. I'll have a lot more copy, I guess, maybe once I get the transcripts of the classes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just have to see. And I mean, for sure, for the people going through it right now, the main thing they're getting out of it is the interaction of the meditations.
Right.
Not necessarily the what I'm writing about the subject.
Okay. Well, I mean, here's an idea for everybody. All of you could have a workbook to go with your book. I mean, you can package them together. It's an extra add-on that you can sell, or a journal or whatever makes sense in your, you know, next to your book. You can all have some online component, which is wonderful. Like, let's say David has some meditations. So let's say you could give away the meditations when they buy the book, or you might even charge for them. They're on your website. So that leads people to your website. Once they're on your website, they have to give you their name. Maybe you give away the meditations in exchange for their name and email address. So that way, because let's say people buy your book on Amazon, you'll never know who they are. Amazon doesn't give you that information. So this is a lead generation tool where they give you their name and email address in exchange for the meditations, which you give them for free. Or maybe you give a few for free and you sell some of them. Like that's a, you know, choice you make later. And then maybe later you have a program that you sell for, I don't know, some bigger amount of money or something else, you know. So that's how you kind of like, the book is the lead generation. Maybe you're only selling your book for a few dollars, but you're getting people to your website, you get their email address, then you sell them programs or consulting or training or whatever it is. And all of you should be thinking of how you're going to do that. Because that's how you build your business with your book. As we talked about, it's not just making, 70 cents a book on Amazon. It's how are you going to bring people to your website? What's your follow-up? What's your back end? Is it training or consulting? Many of you said you want to do teaching or training or do courses. So that's how you build your list, so that when you do courses and you can charge more, just as the famous wellness authors like, Dr. Mark Hyman does and everyone else, that's what they do. They build their list and then they have some free stuff and some stuff that they sell.
Yeah, it's more about the product than the book for me.
Yeah, and you could sell CDs or online, MP3s, whatever, downloads of meditation.
In my mind, it came with an ebook.
Oh, okay.
Can you do that or no? Can you make the ebook and a book, and then it's like the ebook has the hyperlinks to the meditations or whatever?
Yeah, you can do a smaller version as an ebook, as a giveaway. The book could be free. You don't have to sell the book. You could sell the meditations and give away the book for free, or you could sell the book and give the meditations for free. It's all thinking of how you want to build your business. Like, that's the thought process of what are you selling? What are you giving away? How are you getting people to your website? All of that stuff. Like, you need to think that through, and I'm happy to help you. And everybody should be thinking that through. Like, what are you selling? What are you giving away? How are you leading them to your website? What's the back end? What's the most important thing you want to sell? It could be many things.
Well, I'm going to have a lot of questions.
That's okay. We love questions. Anyone else have a question for the moment? I love questions. That's good.
I have a quick, simple one. If I wanted my book in my hand by June 1st,
right?
What does that mean? When would that have to be done?
Well, if you want a printed book in your hand or a PDF, that's very doable, especially if you want a smaller book. We're doing the process. You'll get it done by June 1st, if that's your goal. I think we need to discuss what it is exactly.
Yeah, what I'm asking is, what's the timeline between me finishing the book and getting a printed copy in my hand?
I can get you the books in 3 days. Like, by the time the book is ready to be printed, I have a place that prints it very fast.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can have the book in 48 hours if you want it. Or almost overnight at Amazon too. Their printing is so fast now that that's not a delay, really.
Are the books in hard copy or soft cover?
Depends whatever you want. You can have both. Usually not both at once. If you want a hardcover book, you can have it. If you want to go to softcover book, you can have it. It's completely your choice.
Like, publishing through you is different than publishing through Amazon, right?
Well, okay, so let me explain what publishing is again. Publishing is getting your book out to the world. So it's the whole process we're going through of taking your written word, putting it into the format of a book. I can be the publisher, you can be the publisher, or Amazon could be the publisher. Now, you could be the publisher of your book, and you still publish through Amazon as well, because Amazon is just a vehicle to get it out to a larger audience. So, on Amazon, there's all kinds of publishers, right? There's HarperCollins, there's Penguin, they're all on Amazon. Those are the publishers, but they're also publishing on Amazon.
Okay. So, right. I got it. I think.
It's okay.
I knew someone who published through Amazon, and I guess that's different, but I guess they edited their book and everything, and it just didn't work out good. And so I would just prefer to do it.
Well, you can publish through CreateSpace as a publisher, and you can publish through Kindle Publishing, like use them as the publisher and not say you yourself are a publisher or have any other publisher, and that's fine too. You can do that. CreateSpace also offers editing and book cover design. I don't think they're the best for their money. I don't think they give you, they're still not so cheap, and I don't think they give you the best service, but it is an option. You could do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Other questions?
Would you watch this? How many times would you watch this video if you were me? Like what would you do? How would your process be right now to start writing this book? What are you going to do? How many hours are you going to spend?
Are you talking to everybody in the group?
Yeah, sure. Or you? And yeah, I'd love to know how many hours people are going to spend this week.
Anybody want to answer?
Probably at least 2 hours a day, because my book is going to be, it's going to be extensive. It's pretty long. So if I want to get it done 3 months, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I think everybody has a different starting point. Some of you already have content in some form, some of you don't. Some of you are fairly well established in what you want to write about. Some of you are not, because I haven't spoken to everyone yet. So I think this first week, everybody's kind of all over the map. I hope by next week, everybody will be more clear as to what they're writing and what they're writing about. And then after next week, you'll kind of start really doing the work. So now you're still doing the preliminary work if you're not sure yet.
So Linda, if we're happy with our worksheets, beyond doing the back cover copy, where would you start next? Like if we want to start before next week.
Yeah, okay. I would start really doing some competition, looking at the competition on Amazon, and just listing topics for your table of contents. Don't try to write something brilliant or creative right now. Just kind of list the important topics that you think need to be in the book. And also think about the method that you're going to put across, like is it 7 days or 7 steps or 30 days or whatever, if you want to have that kind of method. Like think of the framework that you want to use.
Okay.
Okay. And if you are really super eager and you want to go farther and you have your main topics, then start jotting down subtopics under each topic. So let's say you have a chapter on nutrition. So what are the 5 key points you want to talk about in nutrition?
Okay.
And we'll be talking more about that coming up, but if you want to jump ahead, then that's a good way to jump ahead.
Linda?
Yes.
I have a technical question.
Yep.
So my book is actually a guide, 31 Days to Happiness. Each day is a technique that they try out. And what I wanted to do is create a questionnaire. It's almost done. A happiness instrument where you can measure your happiness before reading the book, and then you can measure it after. And I was thinking that's what I want to give away for free. My technical question is, what I want is for them to answer a bunch of questions online and get a graph or a pie chart. Do you know anyone who can help me with getting that tool online?
There's many survey tools. One of them is Google Docs, I think it is, that I've used. I'll check. Google Forms, I don't remember. Oh, Google Survey, I've done that. There's also SurveyMonkey. You just need a survey tool, really. You connect it to the survey tool, and they take the quiz, and then there's an automatic, it sort of takes them automatically to a page where they have the answers. So SurveyMonkey is probably the most well-known, but there's many others as well. So I would just look at a survey tool or the Google, I think it's Google Surveys, I can't remember, and set up a survey that way. And I think that's an excellent way. Actually, everyone can think about that as some kind of quiz where people have to evaluate their own situation to start off. And then you kind of give them a few different options, like if you come here, then maybe you need this kind of help. If you go there, maybe you need something else. Let them self-identify a little bit. people love to do surveys and quizzes about themselves, you know, like find out about your true self, and, you know, and then you give them some options or some follow-up. So I like that idea very much.
Okay, you don't know someone like a web person. I wanted a branded, you know,
Okay.
I wanted to be a pie chart and
You probably need a graphic designer for that. I know somebody. I'm going to see if they do that kind of thing.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Linda. This is Mitzi. I just want to get an understanding about, will you be working with us during these calls or during these sessions around actual writing, or is that what the Finish Agent venue is for?
Well, we're not actually doing any writing on these calls. So basically the calls will be my presenting the information for maybe about half an hour, and then Q&A, just like this, answering questions. The Finish Agent is also, so every day, my wish is that you go on there 4 days out of 7, just for 5 minutes in the morning or the end of the evening, and put your goals for the next day. Like tomorrow I plan to write for an hour, chapter 1 or whatever it is. Tomorrow I'm working on my table of contents from 6 to 7 a.m. or whatever it is for you. And then, and if you could only go on once a day, that's fine. You could do the next day, you know, at the end of the day. Then the end of the day or sometime during the day, you go on and say, hey, I worked for an hour, I'm very happy, I got something done, or maybe I got stuck and I had to do some research or whatever it is. I mean, you just go on there and report how you did. And also you read at least 3 other people's posting. So that way, you know, you're helping each other. You comment, oh, you know, Heidi or Pauline, I noticed that you did your chapter, good for you. Did you have any trouble? It's so great that you got a chapter done today. You know, Ingrid had a question. Oh, Ingrid, I know a place to get a form done, or I know a great graphic designer. Like, you're just helping each other, you know? I mean, I'm there helping you too. But the actual writing is your own time. That's, you know, that's what you do. When you need quiet time, you need to be concentrating, and the actual writing or working on your book is your own time. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, I think we had a good first class. I hope you think so too. I think, are you encouraged? Are you feeling motivated and excited?
Yes.
Good, good, good. As I said, until we're in the floors, until we're set up in Finish Agent, if you have questions in between, email me. I always answer your questions very quickly. Then we'll be in the Finish Agent, so we'll be interacting there. And we're meeting again next week. And so until then, I'm sure you'll make great progress. And I'll see you then. And I'll have this up by tomorrow for you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sound good?
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to meet everybody. Bye-bye.
You too. Have a good evening or afternoon, wherever you are.